Every morning, more than 1 million Georgia children climb aboard a school bus, and parents trust that those buses will bring them home safely. But nearly 100 times since August, that trust's been shaken by wrecks caused by other drivers. 11Alive's Gridlock Guy, Doug Turnbull, is here with why these crashes keep happening. And Doug, what it really will take to protect our children and our roads. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks. Good to talk to you, Cheryl. I know you have a teenage driver in your house, so they're probably making that transition from being on a school bus to being a driver behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And whether we have school buses or other cars in school zones or pedestrians, we know that those are zones where a lot more things could go wrong. So one of the things here is that the Georgia State Patrol and rather Department of Public Safety put out some stats a couple of weeks ago that between August 1st and August 11th, there were nearly 200 school bus crashes in the state of Georgia, and around 95 of those are where other drivers were at fault. They also said in those numbers, Cheryl, that 91% of the injuries in school bus crashes aren't with, and you see them on the screen here, aren't with children in the buses, but they're actually with people in those other vehicles because those are smaller. So the State Patrol and the Georgia Department of Public Safety had some tips they told me about helping people actually save themselves as much as saving the kids.
Yeah, you know, you really think about the drivers. In full transparency, my dad was a lifelong teacher, and when he retired, he started driving a school bus because he missed the kids so much. And he would tell me, I wish I could just remind people about my precious cargo because people feel so busy around me. I don't think they're intentionally trying to be dangerous, but it's hard to navigate a vehicle of that size. Think about it on these busy Atlanta roads.
It's extremely hard to do. So we did a report very similar to this about tractor trailers, and the Department of Public Safety's Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Unit helps to keep those safe and enforce those trucks, keeping other drivers safe, same as they do with school buses. They inspect about 20,000 school buses a year. One thing that the commander of the DPS's School Bus Safety Division, Anthony Hudson, told me is drivers should give about 2 car lengths between themselves and a bus, and always assume that a bus in service with kids on it is about to stop. I mean, almost any time you see a bus, they're not flying by you, right? They're stop and go. So Hudson also gave a great reminder, which is, hey, remember, when school's back in, this is not a summer driving pattern. 2/3 or 3/4 of our year, we have buses on these roads that are stopping in neighborhoods that you're going to need to add extra time to your commute. And by the way, drivers need to be more patient, okay? If we have 1.7 million students in the state of Georgia, which we do approximately, that means that's like 1.7 million people rejoining the, quote, workforce.
Yeah.
Rejoining the workforce around August, right? So that means there's way more traffic on the road. So if we were just more patient, had our heads up and not down on our phones, a lot of these crashes wouldn't happen, whether there are kids on board these buses or not.
Sure. I was thinking about the emotional toll on all sides, for the bus driver who has the responsibility of the kids, for the kids or any parent or anyone who loves them at home and has to hear about something like this, but for the other drivers too. It's just a little bit of a different emotional situation when you're talking about a bus full of children.
A bus full of children, and anytime we hear about a school bus crash, Rachel Cox-Rosen and I on the traffic team, we immediately inquire, are there kids on board? Are they hurt? It's not like a regular crash because you have sensitive lives out there. And think about this, even though the school buses are the safest way for kids to get to school versus walking or riding in a car, if they see a crash, like that SUV we saw the B-roll of a moment ago, that was in Cobb County, a crash that we covered. They might see a car upside down. They might see a person hurt. That could emotionally scar the kids as well as the driver that's having to haul them around.
Yeah, you made a really good point. There are buses who make it safely every single day that get to where they need to get to safely. But when we're talking about 100 crashes since August, it is an important conversation to have. So if you had 10 seconds to speak directly to a distracted driver about the life or death stakes here, what would you want to say to them?
Number one, distracted driving should have the same stigma and has the same effect as drunk driving. And number two, pretend like your own kids, if you have kids, are on that bus. We should all be treating each other, whether in cars or buses, with the same respect, and the same respect rather. The moment that we make a selfish move, we're being disrespectful to other people and putting ourselves too in harm's way.
You mentioned my driver who's learning. He also has a 9-year-old little brother. I always say, remember, kids like your brother are on those buses. So.
Amen to that, Cheryl.
All right.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Doug. Thanks so much.